okay, account abstraction. How many of you ever built something or an application using smart accounts or paymasters, bundlers? Okay. How many of you are planning to do the same this weekend? So building something using smart accounts? Solomon, only Mattia? Okay. I'll convince you. I'll convince you. I'll convince you. So there's a bunch of sponsors that are coming in with interesting technologies that can really help you building smooth user experiences. Nothing structured that I was planning to do, but in the last, I think 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, Privy released like their own integration of smart accounts, which is like very easy to implement. And since I'm building a lot of stuff with Privy, smart accounts, Pimlico, sponsoring gas fees for users, I decided to create a starter kit for other hackers in ETHRome, but also in future hackathons to easily build an account abstraction application. So this starter kit is public on privy-aa.builders.garden. You can test it. And what I'm going to do now is just like showing you how I built it, and it's like really few lines of code that, oh, there's you. Few lines of code to implement like a seamless login with your email. So this is my email. How many of you are familiar with Privy? Oh, a few of you, okay. So Privy allows developers creating applications that can login users and generate a wallet for them, starting from an email address or social login like Google, Apple, or Farcaster, GitHub. There's a bunch of stuff. So let's go into Privy so that I can show you what you can do with it. They're also sponsoring some bounties, so it might be like useful to check what they do. As you can see here, like with a really like few lines of code, you can implement login model that allows you to connect with MetaMask, Apple, Farcaster, passkeys even. And the cool thing is that on top of these embedded wallets that they create for you, so whenever I'm logging in with my email, of course I'm receiving a confirmation email and the code. But once I'm connecting the user, let me see if I find my email. Okay, this is my email. As you can see here, they are generating for me an embedded wallet and a smart wallet as well. This means that even people that don't own any MetaMask wallet, Coinbase wallet, like people that are just starting their journey in Web3 and they don't care about wallets, because in the end, like, usual application, you need an email, you need a phone number. There's no need to open a new Ethereum wallet. Like, I don't care. With Privy, people can log in with their wallet and then with their email, sorry. And as you can see here, on this like side of the starter kit that I built, I'm showcasing the embedded wallet address and the smart wallet address, and this should be the same that I'm seeing here. And then I implemented two simple actions. One is signing. So if I want to sign something with in this case, I'm focusing on the smart wallet. So since we are talking about account abstraction, I won't cover sending transactions or signing transactions with embedded wallets, but I will always be using the smart wallet, which will enable users executing transaction without paying gas fees. Because one important thing is that usually when I use my MetaMask, of course, I already have some ETH on it, and I can pay gas fees for whatever transaction I'm executing. But when I'm creating a new embedded wallet, so think about my grandmother, like logins with an email, it's weird, yeah. It's an embedded wallet with nothing in it. So if she wants to execute a transaction, she can't, because she has no way to pay gas fees. And thanks to Smart Wallet, this is solved, of course. Question?
So my question was just the difference between embedded wallet and smart wallet.
So The embedded wallet is something that is, let's say, similar to what MetaMask is. So it's an externally owned account that can sign and execute transactions. It has a public and private key. It can be restored and seed phrases and all this kind of stuff. And embedded wallets as EOA, they act both as a signer and as let's say a container for all your assets. So both things. So if you lose your private key, you're losing everything, both like your identity because you cannot sign anymore, and then also all your assets. And this is the same for the embedded wallet. In this case, Privy also has some like recovery methods that allow you to do so. The smart wallet instead is a smart contract. And this means that these type of smart accounts are much more customizable. So you can have custom logic inside your account. For example, if you don't want to allow transactions that are spending more than, I don't know, like a specific amount per day, or if you want to implement a social recovery where if I lose my keys, my friends can still re-enable my account, or some policies to allow specific transactions only if there are two signatures, for example. So they are smart accounts, smart contracts, and this means that people can write custom logic. And of course, I'm not expecting my grandmother or like any user of my application to customize their account. Me as a developer, I'm planning to build an application and I'm providing my users with an account that I think it's nice for what they need to do. So this is the first thing. And the other thing is that the smart account being a smart contract, it means that it can't execute transactions. So the embedded wallet can execute transactions because there's a user prompting it. The smart contract can't. And so an EOA like MetaMask or embedded wallet is always needed because we need somebody that triggers the transaction. And the cool thing about the smart account in this case, like one of the customization that you can make is that it's possible to have somebody else, like a third party, sponsoring the gas fees. So even if the smart wallet, the smart account is empty, has no Ether, anything to pay gas fees, you can set up a paymaster, is called, through Pimlico, as we will see later. And this paymaster will be responsible in covering gas fees. So on Pimlico, in a very simple way, like since we are here already, you need to go on their dashboard. They're also sponsoring a bounty, so like check them out. I create an account on Pimlico. I connect my my credit card, so I have a balance. And whenever my users on the app are executing transactions, they are paying gas fees for the users, and then they are getting some funds from my credit card on a weekly or monthly basis. I don't know. So this is how they are able to sponsor gas fees. So getting back here, in this simple starter kit, I implemented 2 key operations that you can easily reproduce in your app, whatever you're building. It's a sign message and execute transaction. So sign message, let's say that I want to sign a message with my smart account. I signed it. As you can see, I didn't see any modal. If I was trying to do like the same thing with MetaMask, it would have opened my my wallet and asking me to sign a message. In this case, I'm simply clicking here, and it's being signed because it's being signed by the smart contract in this case. When it comes to sending a transaction, is like the same. Let's say that I'm sending money to myself because I have 1 USDC in this case. So as you can see here, I also implemented a simple component to show your balance on base Sepolia. So if I want to send 1 USDC to myself, I'm executing a transaction in this case. If I was using MetaMask or an EOA with no smart accounts, I would be expecting like my MetaMask wallet prompt asking me to approve the transaction, right? In this case, clicking a button, loading, and everything happens behind the scenes. So this is being processed. We can go on Sepolia base scan, yes. token transfers. Yeah, and this was executed 16 seconds ago, sending 1 USDC to myself. So very random transaction. And as I will show you, question?
Yeah, but the transaction is sponsored by with Pimlico or?
Yeah. It's sponsored by Pimlico. If you are using a testnet like base Sepolia, there's no need for a credit card, so they will just sponsor you the gas fees. If you're using a mainnet, of course, they will charge you something from your credit card. Then, like getting into the code, so how can you implement all of these? It's actually, maybe like to me it's simple, I don't know, but if you're familiar with Next.js, you know that there's the concept of like provider. So to implement Privy in your application, you need to wrap all your components over this Privy provider. You are entering your Privy app ID, which you can get from the website. So whenever you create an account, you will have your own dashboard, and on the settings page, you will find this application ID. You set it up here, and then you have a bunch of configuration, which I will not cover, but basically I'm saying that the default chain where my embedded wallets are getting connected is the base Sepolia one. Then additionally, since I want to support smart accounts through Privy, I'm also adding this smart wallets provider, and all of them are coming from, you see, Privy provider coming from Privy.io React out, and then we have another, the smart wallets provider is still coming from Privy. I'm also instantiating WAGMI. If you're not familiar with WAGMI, is like probably the easiest way in which you can connect a wallet to your website and read and write states to the blockchain. So once you have this set up, all your components, like your children components, will be able to access the Privy state and the smart account state. If I go on this page, probably it's a little messy because it's one page only, but we will try to check all of it. There's a bunch of hooks that you can use. So if I'm using use Privy, I can access the state of the user if it's authenticated, and also like the data of the user if I want to know their email address, their ID, their embedded wallet address, whatever is connected to the user, and everything that you can check in here. So this will be accessible through this hook in here. Then if I want to use the smart wallets by Privy, I can use this simple hook, and it returns me a smart wallet client that I can use to execute transactions. These are a bunch of stuff that you can use from WAGMI to switch the chain in which your user is connected and get the current chain ID. And these are like some the simple operation that I was showing. So sign message, toggle chain is switching the chain connection, and then executing the transaction. This is a bunch of irrelevant stuff. Logout, reading contracts. Okay. So on one side, let's close this. Okay. This code is what you are seeing here on the right side. So switch. Okay. This input field is where I'm fetching the user embedded wallet, and it's easy as accessing a variable. I have the Privy user, they have a wallet field in here, and then you can check the address. For what concerns the smart wallets, you have the smart wallet client that we were seeing using the use smart wallets hook, the account variable, and then the address field. So this is my smart wallet address, and they are deploying it for me, so I don't need to care about it. I just need to use the hook. And finally, I have the sign message, so I can enter the message text to sign, the button to sign, and this is executing the function to send the message. And then down here, we also have the send USDC transaction. So it's a very simple example of transaction, but you can easily replace it with any other execution. So starting from the, starting from the sign message, how does it work? So when I'm calling send message, first of all, I want to sign it with the smart wallet. So if the smart wallet client is not instantiated, I'm throwing an error. Otherwise, I'm calling client.signMessage, and that's it. And this is returning the signature. For what concerns executing transaction, again, I'm checking if the smart wallet client is instantiated. If yes, I'm doing a bunch of stuff like parsing the amount of USDC that I want to send, and in the end, I'm calling client.sendTransaction. And I mean, if you're familiar with WAGMI and if you already like tried sending a transaction from your React or Next.js application, you already know that you need to pass a chain, the address of the contract that you're calling, the value in this case is 0, and then encoding the function data. And once that's done, I have the transaction hash, and that's it. So I'm clicking a button, my user doesn't need to sign anything, so it's very smooth. You can really have, like emulate any kind of, in Web2 application, I'm never required to approve a random like data or hexadecimal code. I'm simply clicking a button. Maybe if I'm sending a lot of money, I want to show the user a confirmation model so that they don't click things in a wrong way. But in the end, with these tools, you can build a consumer-facing application that can really be used by normies and Web2 users, And that's about Privy. But how does it work for the setup? So one thing that I missed is on the embedded wallets. So on their dashboard, you can configure a bunch of parameters, the login methods that you want to allow, some customization. As you can see here, I can allow Ethereum wallets, Solana wallets, SMS authentication, passkeys, a bunch of stuff. And then on the embedded wallets, first of all, I can decide if I want to show confirmation models. So if you want to show them, you still have a way to do so. Then it's also optional to create this embedded wallet on login, because maybe you want to use Privy, but still allowing people using their MetaMask wallet. So you can decide if you want to generate an additional wallet for them or if it's not needed. Recovery methods, and finally, smart wallets. And again, you can select a smart account. As you can see here, I selected Safe, but you can use Alchemy or Biconomy. I'm not sure if selecting their smart accounts here is enough to be eligible for their bounties, but I would definitely try asking them, because as soon as you select it, you don't need to worry about their documentation or their SDK. It's Privy that already abstracted all of that, and so whenever I'm creating a new user account through their email or whatever social login, I'm deploying a Biconomy or an Alchemy smart account according to what I selected. And once that's done, I need to configure the networks that I want to support. Base volume, in this case, so of course I can add a new network, selecting one like Polygon, and then I need to add here the bundler URL and the paymaster URL. These are two URL that you can fetch from Pimlico, and basically are the the bundler, the paymaster that you want to use for sending the transaction to the network and sponsoring the gas fees from the network. So in this case, what I did, I just pasted my API URL coming from Pimlico. It's the same for both the bundler and the paymaster. And how can I get it? I go on Pimlico, I have an account, I go on API keys, I can create a new one, but I can also use an existing one. If I click on RPC URL, once I created one, I can select the network, so I can go again on base Sepolio, and this is giving me an URL that I can paste in here. Once that's done, my Privy setup is ready to support smart accounts and seamless transactions. This repository has been linked in the Privy channel. So if you want to check the code, it's open source. You can use it as a starter kit for your application. The other thing that I want to show you is, of course, like in this case, as I was mentioning, I've been abstracting a lot of the stuff from Biconomy, Alchemy, even Pimlico. Like Pimlico, the cool thing is that I mean, like 2 weeks ago, I was using this to do all these things that I shown you in one single page. Pimlico built this permissionless JS library that you can use to deploy smart accounts in a manual way. So if in any case, like Biconomy or even like Pimlico, maybe for their bounty, they want you to use this because they want to get feedback around their own library. It's not that difficult, I think, to implement. It's a bunch of files that I can also show you how to do. But basically, with permissionless JS, you can manually deploy simple smart accounts, Save smart accounts, Biconomy smart accounts, Alchemy smart accounts, and they have all these guides here that you can check. And you can still use, of course, all their APIs. So in here, you still have the same, the same API URL. It's a little different, and you need a bunch more steps to go through. Let's see if I can find another repository that I can show you. Yeah, maybe I can show you on GitHub. Any questions so far? No questions. So on this other repository, which is public, so you can check this out as well, I built some stuff for Pimlico. So there's a file called Pimlico, and in this case, I'm instantiating their client. So to instantiate their client, I always need my Pimlico API key, which I already shown you how to do, and then you create a Pimlico client. This Pimlico client is what you will use to deploy the smart account. So in the previous repository, Privy was covering all of that. You were only supposed to give Privy the bundler URL and the paymaster URL. In the case of Pimlico and permissionless JS, you need to do everything manually. So instantiate the Pimlico client, and then I created this Pimlico hook that allows somebody to deploy a smart account. So what I'm doing in this case, as you can see here, I'm fetching the connected wallet. Can you see? Yes, you can see it. So again, like these hooks are coming from WAGMI, from Privy WAGMI actually, because this application that we built was still using Privy, but at that time Privy didn't have the smart wallets integration, so we had to build it our own. And so through Privy and WAGMI, I'm able to fetch the connected wallets, the embedded wallets. And this is needed because, again, I need to deploy a smart account that can be controlled by a signer. And the signer is the connected wallet of the user. So in this simple function, fetch Pimlico smart account, I'm checking if I have a wallet client, most importantly. So if my user is connected with a wallet. And then I'm converting that wallet client to a smart account. As you can see, I'm passing the signer in here. The public client is a simple client that is connected to Base, Sepolia, or whatever chain you're using. And finally, once I have the simple smart account, I can create a smart account client. So I'm passing the account, I'm telling them the chain, where I want to deploy it, because it's a smart contract again, and then I'm passing it all the paymaster and bundler URL that we were simply entering in the Privy dashboard. Once that's done, I'm returning the smart account client. So, and then it's the same, because when I have the smart account client on other files, so I'm not sure if I can search in the repo. Actually, let me clone this so that I can show you. If you have questions, just raise your hand and I'll call you. Flux. So I was showing you the use Pimlico hook. If I look in the repo, use Pimlico. I think I already removed the Pimlico part, but basically I can show you here. So you have the use Pimlico hook that is returning two variables. Smart account client and predict a smart account address. This prediction is just like was needed for me to save the smart account address before it was like deployed. But then if I get the smart account client, the methods that it's exposing are the same. So if I want to, this is not typed probably, but basically if I want to send a transaction, I can send a transaction in the same way I was showing you on the other repository. So npm install. But yeah, then as a reference, you can get, okay, close the other one. As a reference for like the function at the smart account client you can get, you can check this because I'm pretty sure that Privy implemented permissionless JS. So you can send transaction, you can sign messages, and the other thing here is that I showed you like two simple smart account function, but if you go on permissionless JS, you have safe account, and if I go on safe account, they have a two safe smart account. In the case of Biconomy, I have a two Biconomy smart account. In the case of light account by Alchemy, I have a two light smart account. So probably this is the easier way, this is way in which you can play more around this if you want to customize some stuff, or maybe if they are requiring you so. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So like just to recap, you have two ways according to how much time you want to spend on this and whatever you're building. On one side, like you have this repository that is ready using Privy, and you don't need to care about permissionless JS and deploying a smart account. It's already made by Privy. And so this is faster, definitely faster. So in production, probably I will never use permissionless JS again. At an hackathon, maybe like if I want to win a bounty, why not? You know. On the other side, you have permissionless JS, which is like even very well documented, that takes more time to implement. And they also have integration with other wallet providers. So in this case, I was talking about Privy. So they also show you how you can integrate permissionless JS with Privy. There's Dynamic, that is another provider similar to Privy for social logins, and a bunch of other stuff. All of these sponsors, they are not in person. So if you want to reach out to them for more questions or doubts, you need to text them on Discord. So Privy as a channel, Alchemy as a channel, Pimlico as a channel, Biconomy as well as a channel. Of course, I will be around here all the weekend to help you if you need some help with smart accounts. And yeah, if you have any questions, shoot them now or later. Thank you.